All right, it looks like we are coming through. What is going on, everybody? Nice to see you. It has been a while. I am pumped up to be here today. Man, so pumped up to be here today. I miss live streaming so much. And I'll actually explain to you a little bit of what's going on, what I'm experimenting with right now also. But first, how is everybody? Is everybody having an awesome, did everybody have a good Easter for those of you that celebrate Easter? Yeah, look great, D. Yeah, thanks there, Neil. Appreciate it. Yeah, did everybody have a good Easter? And is the sound and everything coming through on this okay? Just want to make sure that everything sounds, up to par and whatnot. What's up, Paul Peck? Nice to see you in here. Practical Mechanic, nice to see you as well. Uniweb Productions, nice to see you as well. Pauline Newman, what is going on? So if there's anybody that hasn't been in a members-only live stream yet, just give me a hashtag and just put new, just so I can know, in terms of if I need to explain kind of what we do here or not on the members-only live stream. And really quick, I forgot to grab my coffee. So I'm going to step out of the room literally for 30 seconds, and I'll be right back with my coffee. Got to have something to sip on. Okay, so Crystal, Uniweb Productions, David Snyder. Okay, so basically for you guys, what's going on here is these live streams are a little bit different than what it is that we normally do in our normal Nimin live streams. In these live streams, these are more intimate, as you can tell, like the energy. I don't have to be like, over the top entertaining and all that stuff. So because of that, the energy is a little bit different. Typically, D is here with me for these, but he's in the States right now. But basically what we are doing is we are, I have some YouTube news that I need to share with you. And, I can also look at your channels, give you some tips and things like that. But another thing that's different here from Nimin Live is we also have kind of like a hard stop here in terms of the time. So I'm thinking about an hour and 15 minutes or so. We'll just kind of go with the flow and see how it goes. But first, coffee. All right. Now I feel like a good human being. Okay, so in terms of the news that I have to share with you, does anybody here know or have you been hit with the reuse issue on your channel, or do you know anybody that has been hit with the reuse issue? I know Brian G, for those of you that follow Brian, he actually got hit with this a while back as well, made a few videos about it, if you got around to watching those videos as well. But basically they've defined now. Oh, you're gonna need that, Zach? Yeah, you're gonna confiscate that. It would look great in your place, man. But basically with the reuse, Middle Earth lore, what it is, if you're not familiar with it, is a lot of videos have been getting flagged on YouTube because they are getting flagged for reuse, and there's been a lot of confusion on what is reuse, what's going on, why did I get hit with reuse and things like that. So I just wanted to use this opportunity for those of you that know about it, but maybe you're a little bit worried about it or, whatever, to where you just get a little bit of context into what is actually going on. So in a nutshell, here, I'll actually pull this up on my screen and kind of go through it with you. In a nutshell, let's see here. We will do this one. Let's go back up. I haven't streamed in so long that I'm I don't even know how to use anything. This is hilarious. Let's see here. I guess it would be this one. There we go. Okay. So basically with this, what it is, it's the, this is what is the information that has come out on reuse and what it is. And basically what they're saying is that they've seen questions from channels that have actually been hit with it. But basically what it means, now that they've put this out, what it means is that if you upload content from multiple sources, or that you re-upload or repurpose someone else's existing content, If all or most of your channel is dedicated to reuse content, or you're not transforming the original work by adding your own unique value, then your channel is not eligible for the YouTube Partner Program. Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, what this is saying is that if you have the type of content to where you're making, hey, what's up, Dan? Nice to see you in here. If you have the type of content where you are making compilations of other people's stuff, and all you're doing is putting the videos together, but you're not actually doing anything in addition to putting their content together, then in that case, then that would fall under reuse, and then you can get demonetized because of it. And if you have your channel basically built on that, then, or you're starting a channel and you're building it on that, then it's going to prevent you from being able to join the partner program in the first place, which means that you're not going to get monetized. And basically, they say that the spirit of the policy is to make sure that they are incentivizing unique and original content into the partner program, and that they're protecting and rewarding the creators who work hard on original content. Now, this is really, really important, and I'm pretty sure that everybody in here, if you're making any type of compilation content, let me know if you're doing, mashups or anything. But the big thing that I want to highlight here is they're saying that it's to make sure that they're incentivizing unique and original content on YouTube, which basically means that they are slowly but surely, and you can tell by all of the decisions that they're making right now, they're slowly trying to transition everything into just more unique, 100% unique content. So the reason I wanted to bring this up to you today is because some people are also using a lot of like stock footage and things like that. And I personally haven't seen this, but it is a theory of some people that channels might also be getting hit if they're using like tons of stock footage and things like that. So just be careful when it comes to content of any kind that you're using on your channel that you haven't made yourself, or that you don't have rights to where you would actually be able to defend it. And this comes down to any content that you don't have permission to use. Now, a fine line that I'm still trying to get the information for you for is reusing your own content. So inside of their Creator Academy, they actually recommend that you use like mashups of your own content to where, let's say, for example, if you're doing like, okay, in Vigard's case, let's say that in his case, he has 10 videos out. And within each one of those videos, let's say they're editing tip videos, and each one of those 10 videos, he says, hey, you know what? I've got 10 tips that I give in each one of these videos. Let me put together a favorite 15 tip video. And what he does is he takes out, different clips from each one of those 10 videos that he has, and he makes one more video compiling that. Technically, in the YouTube Creator Academy, they tell you to do that. And since it's your own content, then it's not that big of a deal. However, just to be on the safe side, I'm trying to get some clarification on that to see, just to make sure that even if you're reusing your own stuff, that it's not that big of a deal. They also say later in here, and let me see if I can find it real quick, but they also talk about if your content is the same. Let's see here. If you have permission, we'll actually just run through this really quick. So if you have permission to reuse someone's content on my channel, am I eligible for the partner program? Even if you have permission, you still need to add your own unique creative value to be eligible for the YouTube partner program. This reused content guideline is part of the content quality section, and we will open that up too, of the partner program policies. It's separate from YouTube's copyright enforcement, where an owner lets us know if they found their content used without their permission. We're working on updating the reused content messaging in Creator Studio to make this more clear and accurate. Thank goodness. If I have 0 copyright strikes, I'm trying to get to the part here. I'm trying to find it. Okay, here we go. Here's some examples. So what's an example of reused content that is not eligible for the partner program? And they say, they make it clear this isn't an exhaustive list, but they say clips of moments from your favorite show stitched together, short videos you compiled from other social media websites, like you see all the Vine compilations and the Two Buddy in the House. You see all the Vine compilations, you see all of the TikTok compilations and things like that. Those are also, they fall into that category. Or collections of songs from different artists, even with their permission. Oftentimes, large portions of the channel are completely dedicated to content like the above, with no unique value added to make the content different and unique from the original. Now, if you want an example, if you do make this type of content or you're considering it, if you want an example of a good way that you can add unique value to content, if you look at Evan Carmichael's channel, his entire channel, most of it anyway, is mashups like this. But the way that he structures everything, he puts his own graphics on there. He runs people through the process. There are different clips from, whatever person it is that they're highlighting and things like that. He'll even add an intro of himself at the beginning, an intro of himself, or an outro of himself at the end as well. And another one here that I saw, let me make sure it's on this one and not another one. Hold on. So what's an example of adding unique value that is eligible for the partner program? Okay, this is it right here. So one support case our team helped with was for a channel who compiled different scenes from movies. They added high-quality edits and special effects to create completely new original movie trailers. This makes it super clear that the content is transformed to create something unique with information in the channel description and a video trailer front and center on the homepage. So basically what they're saying here, and this is another thing that they go over a lot inside of the YouTube Creator Academy, is context, right? And making sure that you're adding context to your descriptions and things like that. And this is a good example of that, because they're saying here that that particular channel that they're referencing, let's see here, with information in the channel description and a video trailer on the channel homepage, basically letting people know what was going on, that they are using the content and all of that. The creator also appears on the screen in many videos or has voiceovers to describe the editing work. So, and this is another one to where adding themselves, kind of makes that separation a little bit. Now, in situations like Brian G., we're still, we still don't fully know exactly what happened there with his situation with his reused content, because his stuff was his own. Now, with that said, he also just got it turned back on. So since it got turned back on, then in that case, then it was just kind of like a hit bug, checked it out, and then now it's okay type of thing. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share that information so that you could know about it. I'm actually going to drop a link to this in the chat if you want to have any further reading about it so that you can check it out. And let's go back here. All right. All right. So yeah, so that's what's going on. And yeah, Doug, there are so many cool people in here. Of course. So Middle Earth Lore say, so it's okay to add clips like I usually do. So I'm going to pop open your channel, Middle Earth Lore, and I'm actually going to look at it. So in your case, since you are, I think that you're actually talking about it.
In the Two Towers, and Treebeard is taking Marion Pip.
This. Yeah, I think since you're actually talking about the information, I think you're okay, because you're giving your own voiceovers, you're adding a bunch of different context. Yeah. So in this situation, you should be fine on reuse, but keep in mind that you are building your channel around something that that may bring some type of headache your way in the future. But as of right now, in terms of just reuse specifically, you look like you're okay. But in the future, if they do change any of the laws on, fair use isn't even a law; it's a defense of the law. But if they change any of that stuff, then you might have to deal with that later. But for right now, yeah, you should be okay. Let's see here. Paul says, what if it's the same footage of my own videos, but made a shorter version of the original with a different voiceover? Yeah, that's one of those situations, Paul Peck, that I'm trying to get clarity on. Because, like I said, like in the YouTube Creator Academy, they specifically say to reuse your own content. They specifically say make compilations of your own stuff, so you can add additional uploads and things like that. Oh, this is my favorite stuff of the summer or whatever it happens to be. And because of that, I'm thinking that it's okay, but I want some type of clarification, because I don't want to just, because I can't tell you that it's okay unless I know for sure that it is. So because of that, I want to get some type of clarification first, just to make sure that that's okay before I, start telling people that it's fine. The Niminati Dark Web. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Patty? Nice to see you in here. So while I've been gone, actually, first, let me explain what happened with me being late today. So I was actually, because I haven't streamed in so long, so I'm just out of my routine, and I've just been back here. I've been traveling for like a month, and I just got back here last weekend, and I'm still kind of getting in my groove. And I was actually eating. And Brian G. Johnson sent me a message. He was like, hey, dude, it's like 8:30. Aren't you supposed to be on? Or it's like 9:30, whatever. Aren't you supposed to be on? And I was like, oh, my God. And it just completely gone out of my head, so I had to finish up my food real quick and then run back. That's when I hopped in and I posted the message that I'd be coming back. So, hey, Dan, what's up, man? So, since we're all here today and we are, hanging out, all of that stuff. Actually, let me go up here to the practical mechanic here real quick. I'm going to start running through some of these questions that have came through because that's what I was about to ask. If you have any questions about anything that's going on in your channels, anything that's going on in general, or anything you're trying to do. Practical mechanic says, what if I use my own content on another channel? I used a blooper from one channel, my girlfriend's channel as well. She is not monetized yet, so it's not a huge deal at that moment. Yeah, in that particular case, you're just using like a small clip of a blooper. And there's going to be content built around that one. So that one I'm confident in that you would be okay because it's basically on your channel and then it's on her channel. It's not a whole clip. It's just a portion of that clip with an additional video that it's wrapped around, so to speak, or that is wrapped around that piece of content, so to speak. So because of that, I think that you're totally fine doing it that way. Basically, any lifted intellectual property that's quoted, reused exactly that's not your own would be questionable. Yes. There's also people that are having trouble right now that are, let's see here, Taper John, I'll open up your channel. There are people right now also, it's really popular actually. Are you familiar with Reddit by any chance? There's a lot of people who are doing Reddit content to where they will go and they will look at subreddit, like a... let's see here, like Explain Like I'm 5, for example, is a subreddit to where basically somebody says, astrophysics, explain it to me like I'm 5, and then somebody goes in, or other people go in, and they basically just break down and simplify astrophysics, right? So that, just like they were explaining it to a 5-year-old to make you, understand it a little bit better. So it's pretty cool. But what they're doing is they're taking that content and they're actually narrating that content. Now, since they're narrating it, right, and they're adding graphics to it and things like that, then in that case, then it's like one of those things that's really on that fine line to where they really are going to have to be careful with it. But, right now they're still up. But in terms of if they're going to be able to join the partner program or if they'll end up getting demonetized because of that, because they're not actually making the scripted part, not 100% sure. That's one of those fine line things. Tell you what, I would hate to be on the legal team at YouTube trying to figure out and define all this stuff because there's so many little details to it and there's legal stuff behind it. So it's like if they get it wrong, then it's going to cost YouTube or it's going to cost creators or whatever. So yeah, I would hate to be on the legal team. So in your case here, Taper John, since you are doing live music performances, first off, I just want to give you a heads up and just say that I would really start doing something with your titles, because unless you're sending external traffic in here and you are trying to get views that way from external traffic, people being able to stumble across this on YouTube is going to be really difficult. You're really hurting yourself in discovery right now. Here, let me actually pull this up on the screen so everybody else can see it. But basically, like with your titles, because you're doing like Wheelhouse and then you're putting the date in there, you're really making discovery hard for yourself, because people, unless they're actually looking for Wheelhouse and this date, then there's a really good chance that it's not going to pop up. Or if they're looking for Wheelhouse and you do pop up, then you're wasting all of these other opportunities to where you could have just had 2 or 3 or 4 videos in that spot, but now you're just filling that spot up with your own content, which is also going to be hurting the other videos that people don't click on as well. It's not going to happen in mass, but it will, that is a negative effect. So just as a heads up on that. Real quick, Paul Peck saying that he just hit 50,000 subscribers. Thank you for all the tips, tricks, and inspiration, Nick. Paul, really quick, before I get back into this, I just want to say congratulations to you, man. You are just grinding it out. I love watching your channel explode, man. It is absolutely awesome, and I love seeing the progress that you're making. High five, fist bump for 50K. I know what it feels like, man. It's a big deal. You're like, yeah, 50K. Like, when I hit 50K, I actually made a thing. I still have it over here. I did like a little thing in my video because Brian G. Johnson and I, we have our like World Class Wrecking Crew thing. So I actually made a little sign. It's like 50K hashtag dubc so that I could use it in a video. I ended up using it in the little intro part. So Hybrid Steel's 120 away from 1,000. Nice, dude. Nice, cruising right along. It is, man. It's really cool. Vigard saying it's cool to see people in this community grow. It really is. Absolutely is. But yeah, so back on yours again here. Yeah, so the very first thing for you is I would definitely work on your titles, but because you are doing live performance videos, hold on, I thought I saw like a judge or something in here. Yeah, so basically what you're doing here is you're actually making content. So the content that you're making, even though the songs themselves might be copyright protected and you might have troubles with that in the future, the actual content itself is content that you're actually out there recording. So because of that, you should be fine here. If it's all original music from them, I would definitely get permission from them in order to use this. In order to use their music, I would get written permission. But I would definitely just be mindful of any covers that they might do that you might get a copyright claim for. So just as a heads up. And another aspect of live music archive, descriptions do not apply on YouTube. Well, you can still post-optimize your video. So basically, after your video goes live, as soon as it's offline, then have it to where it defaults to unlisted. And then as soon as you get home, or as soon as you get the opportunity to, you can even do it inside of the YouTube Creator Studio app if you want. But as soon as you get home, then you can go ahead and fill out your description and get all that stuff done. Or at the very least, you can use your upload defaults. Do you know what upload defaults are, Tom, or Taper John, or where to find them? Because you can also fill it out in your upload defaults, so that when people are in there, so that when you upload a video and people are, watching your video there, then you don't have to worry about it. Let's see here. Waiting for that response. I have the written permission from the archive. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so as long as you're recording that, then you're okay. If you're just reposting it and there's more videos just like that on YouTube where people are also doing that, then yeah, you're probably going to run into problems, because then in that case it would be reused if it's not content that you're making. If other people are posting it. If nobody's posting it, then you're fine, but if other people are posting it, then yeah. Yeah, Crystal Vanner saying congrats to all hitting milestones and those of us getting closer to some. Yeah. So one of the things that I want to start doing here, we did it last time. I just didn't do it this time because I just wanted to come back in and say, hey. But I'm going to. Is everybody in here in the Facebook group, or did you get the notification from the feed, from the creator tab? Yeah. Okay. So I know that there were some people that were also wanting to join. Did I not post that it was starting in 15 minutes? I thought I did. Hold on. You know what? I think that I might not have posted that I was starting in 15 minutes here. I wrote it out, but I don't think I hit publish on Facebook. One of those days. Okay, so, oh yeah, I did. Okay, good. Woo! All right. But yeah, so somebody was asking if they could join as a page, and I just found when I was on the road, and I'll actually go in there. I'll make a note to myself to go in there after this. But you can join as a page now. So if you have a page for your channel and you want to join that way, then you can still go in and join through that. Add join by page option. Okay. Yes, I'm glad that just came up, so I know to go in there and do that. Okay, so let's see here. So somebody else had a question here. Let me go in and just see where we are at on the questions. Let's see here. Notification here too on Facebook. You got it on Facebook. Yeah, so Miller saying they didn't have to do the face reveal. Yeah, for a while it didn't let me do that option. It didn't let me put that in there. So, but you can do it now. I think I have to turn it on. Community tab for you, Dan. Yeah. So if you're not in the Facebook group, make sure that you are. Make sure that you do join the Facebook group, because I want to start doing, because I'm single now. So because of that, I've got a lot more time on my hands, and I'm going to start just doing like impromptu live streams from time to time inside of the Facebook group as well. It's a little bit more complicated on YouTube, but Facebook I can just hit go and just come right in on my phone or something. So I'm gonna start doing impromptu live streams there as well, because I want to do, like today for example, I recorded it, but I figured that I would actually post it later. But I want to start adding more stuff to the Facebook group. Like for example, like I'm good, thank you LFA. But like, for example, like I made a video earlier today on like how to find which videos are driving subscribers, but also how you can group content together so that you can see out of specific pieces of content what people are responding to most, and so on and so forth. But I made that video, and I was thinking that maybe I should just go live in Facebook, but I was like, well, people aren't really used to me going live in Facebook yet, so maybe I'll wait before I start doing the impromptu stuff in Facebook. But I'm actually going to start going ahead and doing it, so just be on the lookout for that as well. Because I love going live, so because of that, I'm good. Oh yeah, hybrid. I'm just gonna chill, man. Yeah, I never hunt. I just let the universe kind of do what it does, and then I seize opportunities when I get the chance. Zach Talks Tech says, Nick, I know a few girls that would like to start now. All right, well, this conversation's getting out of control. Wrong focus. Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, it happened for that was like the beginning of the year. So it's like happened. So we're all good. That's funny. Oh, good stuff. Okay, so does anybody want me to pull their channel up and give me any tips or anything? Let's see if we can get some productivity in here. Yeah, it was. I didn't think about it, Dan, until that came out of my mouth. And yeah, that's funny. Let's see here. Yeah, Crystal Vanner says, I've been working on my thumbs. Can you check them out? Yep, absolutely. Let's see here. So we've got UniWeb Productions. We'll get you up here. So I'm not going to be able to grab everybody, of course, but I'll just grab like the first handful that came in here, and we'll see what we can get into. All right, relationship training for Nick. Now I'm good. I'm really good at relationships. I typically, Christy and I typically go into long-term relationships. That's kind of my thing. I'm like a long-term guy for the most part, but for whatever reason, like at around like the 5-6 year mark, it just starts kind of falling apart. So it's just been the thing. But that's not the topic of today's conversation. Okay, so let's go on to Here We Grow. Okay, so we had Taper John, Wheelhouse. Okay, so we had that. We got this, and then I'll go back into these. Okay, so Crystal mentioned it first there. So looking at your thumbs. Okay, so let's see what we got. Okay, daily videos, living in a van, welcome to the journey. Oh, that's cool. Join the family, crystalvanner.com. Now I get the Vanner part. That's good. Okay, mail call, getting a van, life companion, junkyard find. Okay, one thing that I would recommend that you test is, I'm not sure if you're a TubeBuddy Legend account user or not. All things Nelly, what's up, Nell? I'm not sure if you're a TubeBuddy Legend account user or not, but if you are, I would definitely be testing these thumbnails against imagery, because right now what you're doing is you are using your words to pull people in, which, I mean, it looks like it's effective, but I think using imagery that is based on the actual lifestyle itself would be more impactful. So for example, like a van life companion, getting a van life companion, for example, like having this with a picture, and we'll just workshop this one real quick. So like as an example, let's say that you have like getting a van life companion. So what would that mean visually? So maybe it's like you sitting in a van, just kind of pointing over to a passenger seat with a big question mark on it, or something like that. So it basically, hey, later, Paul. Have a fantastic rest of your day. But something like that, to where it's basically like, like you're sitting here, and then you can still see that, but it's zoomed in enough to where you can, see what's going on. But you're sitting here, and then there's like an empty seat here, just with a big like question mark sitting over it, you know, or another person, but you've got like a censored bar over them, or like a pixeled, you know, like a mosaic pixel thing over their face or something like that. But I would just test using the alt text versus trying to use some compelling imagery, because compelling imagery definitely works great on YouTube, especially if you're trying to pull in new viewers to your channel. Like for example, here, let me take this down real quick, because I'm going to see really quick like where you're at on Social Blade for your growth. Oh, and high five to me, by the way. Just crossed a personal record milestone of 21,000 subscribers for the month. So high five to me for that one. Let's see here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, self high five and fist bump. That, like, a self fist bump is like a punch in the face. Right? So we'll avoid that one. Okay, so let's see here. So you're getting about 100,000 views, 427 subscribers on your stuff. Yeah, I think that I wonder what you did here. Yeah, I think that thumbnails would definitely be helpful for you. I also think that if you are, let me go to your actual videos page here. Yeah, I would definitely go, I would test the van imagery compared to the non-van imagery. Like at a glance here, I mean, I know this has been online for a week already because it looks like you're uploading every day here, which is cool. But like this one right here, 2.9 thousand views on this one. And this one might catch up to it. Same here with this one. Oh, this one you got it beat. Yeah, so basically your top videos are this one, and this one over the course, or no, sorry, this one, and this one over the course of the last week. So yeah, I would definitely experiment with doing more van imagery. And another thing also is like here, like I understand what you're doing with the, you know, people being able to recognize it, so that's cool. But I think like living in a van, welcome to the journey, join the family, I would also experiment with having that on there versus having this on there, or just doing one or the other, because you also have a lot of screen real estate here that you are taking up by letting people know that it's your stuff, which is a win. Don't get me wrong. That's a total win, because people can identify you, right? When they see it, they can recognize it. So that's a total win. Don't get me wrong. I just think that you're kind of double dipping that concept, where I think that you could just focus on like one or the other in order to accomplish the same thing with people being able to recognize your content. So, so there's that. And in addition to that, that would also make it a little bit less cluttered as well, because you can see here, it feels great to use this again. I haven't streamed for a month. This feels amazing. AliX, what's up, man? But like, but yeah, I think like getting rid of here, because like, see how this is all kind of crammed in there and you have to kind of force it in. I think that if that was gone and you just left this on here, or if that stayed and this was gone, then that would give the actual text that you are using more room to breathe. Or when you are putting your images on here, it would give your image itself more room to breathe and more room for people to actually come in and, you know, have a little bit of understanding of what the video is about. But, you know, like I think that you have like a unique look, which is good and it's smart. But I just think that with the specific type of content that you're making, I think that your thumbnails could be more effective if you started using imagery around what it is that you're talking about. Because like living in a van and traveling around, you know, from the van, that's pretty cool. My mom and her husband did that in an RV for like a few years, and they had a blast doing it. I actually follow some subreddits also of people doing the same exact thing. If you're not already, I would definitely, not every video that you make, but if you start making, if you have any videos that you make about the lifestyle or how it's affected you or something like that, I would definitely post in some of the van life subreddits if you're not already. Oh, you're getting, it's looping my audio? It shouldn't be, because you are, is anybody else, my audio looping for anybody else? No? Okay. Yeah, Crystal, Reddit is very confusing, but for content like this, like if you can get your imagery together and all of that, like, and I'm sure like people are digging your content. Like you're already getting like 2,000 views a video almost. People are digging what you're doing. So that means that there's a really good chance that if you did start sharing some of this stuff on Reddit, that you might be able to tap into that traffic source, because you're proving here that people are digging what you're doing, because you've got 16,000 subscribers and you're getting at least, it looks like 1,200 views on a video within a week, with a few exceptions here and there. But I mean, you're doing great. But I think that it can be intensified though if you took the logo back, right? Or either the logo with your face or the live in a van, welcome to the journey, join the family thing. Even with that, like, because that's so small, like if this was me, this is what I would try. Or if I was like working with you, this is what I would try. I would basically try to lose this so that I would have all of this screen real estate here. You know what? Let's actually do it. So I'm going to change cameras right here. And while I'm doing this, then here, I'm just going to do it just so you can see what I mean. Let me grab a random thumbnail. Yay, Photoshop tutorial time. Whoop, whoop. Okay, let's see here. No, I just want you to, because like I can tell you, but it's just easier to understand if I can just like show you. Let's see here. So there's that. So give me 1 second here. Let me get this all queued up. Hey, while you're on this, so Neil, who's in the chat right now, I'm starting a podcast. It's called Comments Over Coffee, and basically I'm answering comments, and I'm using comments for inspiration as well, to just kind of go on rants about YouTube and stuff like that. And Neil actually did the intro and outro on that. If you want to listen to that, if anybody wants to hear it, it's only like 5 to 10 minutes long, but if you want to hear it, let me know, and I can give you a preview. Let's see here, but it's going to be getting launched either this week or next week. Yeah, this is the pod mic. I've got a Procaster in the closet over here, but this is a pod mic, and this is the Rodecaster. It's their podcast solution. Okay, where did I put your thumbnail? But yeah, I'll show you that here in a minute. Let me do her thumbnail, and then we will get into that part. Okay, getting ready for bed. Here it is. Okay. So first, is it this way on all of your thumbnails? Why is that happening on your thumbnails? So you have like a little square over in the right hand corner. Do you do that for the timestamp? Is that what you put that there for? Oh, here, let me pull this up on the screen. This little thing right here. Did you put this here? Viper, what's up, man? Nice to see you in here. So, did you put this here? You did. Okay. Yeah, so like that, for example, I would also get rid of that, right? Because right now, like what you're doing is you're cluttering things up quite a bit. So I'm going to show you just a few adjustments that I would make personally to your thumbnails to test. So test one, let me just grab some elements here so I can have them. Oops. Okay. Okay. So step number one would be to take this bar up here, if that's what you're going to be using, and I would stretch it across, and I would focus it on the most interesting part. The most interesting part isn't welcoming them to a journey. It is not a, let's see here. What are you doing there, and how are you doing it? Okay. So basically, this right here is, let me get rid of this here as well. Yeah, so when you're thinking of like a viewer response, right? If your actual branding portion is going to be, something like this going across the top, then in that regard, you got to think, okay, well, if somebody were to watch this, or somebody were to see this on YouTube, what would be interesting to them? Getting ready for bed? Not really. Living in a van? Absolutely. Welcome to the journey? Not really. Now with this, you're getting ready for bed. That's cool. That's the text that you have on there. But what I would do, or one of the things that I would experiment with, is I would try to make this more compelling, right? Think of just viewer focused, right? Follow my life in a van, as an example, might be, and this is where testing would really come into play for you, but that might be a bigger win, right? So it would be like follow my, or see real life in a van. And I'm just using this, like I would write, if I was going to do this, or like if you were working with me, for example, like I would literally have you write down like 100 of these, and then we would pick out whichever one ended up being best to, hold on, we'll just go with something easy. And I know 100 sounds like a lot, but I would write down 100 of these just so, man, why is this running so slow? Oh, because I got a bunch of stuff open. But I'd write down 100 of these just to make sure that you got the right thing. And then I would focus all the attention on whatever that thing was that I came up with. Okay? So that would be step number 1. And with that, again, like I would definitely test with and without. And I saw your message too about not, having apps and stuff like that. That's cool. But I just wanted to, my van life journey, also good. So we'll just change it to that for the sake of this. My van life journey. And then here, we'll just do a, let me take this down real quick, and I'm going to go see, because it's getting ready for bed. So let's see what I can find really quick online. So what I'm going to use here is I'm going to go to Pexels.com. And with Pexels.com, of course, you would have your own imagery for this because you're living in van, because because you're in the van. So the imagery would match whatever it was that you were talking about. But like here, because you're talking about getting in bed or getting ready for bed, let's see if they've got something there. So like in your case, since you're talking about getting ready for bed, then showing, and there's more effort involved with this, but you're communicating visually what it is that you're doing. So let's see here. And I'm not sure exactly what it is that you're covering in your video, but I'm just doing this as a way to just kind of illustrate what's going on. Okay, so here, just for the sake of time, I'm just going to grab a random image here. And then I'm going to paste this in. And this obviously isn't van life related, but I'll walk through this one here. So as an example, so you would have like getting ready for bed, but the way that you would shoot it, you would take the actual photo so that you would actually see you like getting ready for bed in the van. That's what I was originally looking for. So you would see imagery like that with a photo instead. So like, for example, let me go back to your thing here again. We're actually just going to click into this. Let's see what I can find. That's a cool little, is that Wi-Fi? That's cool. Let's see here. You know what? Even like this stuff, like I think that yeah, like if you had like a high quality shot of this, even something like that, I think might be. That one doesn't really say bed on it though. But I know you're getting ready for bed. But I think something that would actually say, that would actually be more symbolic of bed would be a better win for you. Yeah, that's definitely not it. But what I'm getting at is basically building it around and let me know if this message is coming through. Okay, you say you got it. Okay. So basically, like, the idea is when you're making thumbnails, especially for this type of content, if you're doing like training stuff, or you're like a marketer and you're doing, like you're an accountant, and you're talking about stuff, it's a little bit different. But I mean, you can still tell a lot through imagery, but like in your specific case, I would really spend the time, the extra time. And I know you're uploading a video daily, which, there's a grind involved with that. And you're probably thinking like, oh, I don't want to add, whatever, I feel your pain. But just as a heads up, like I would definitely try to think of, okay, how can I explain if I couldn't use a title and I couldn't use text on my thumbnails, how could I explain what's happening in the video in the best possible way through one picture? And what do I have to do in order to get that picture? Do I have to set it up this way? Do I have to lay down, take a picture that way? Do I have to take the picture from the front of the van? Do I have to take it from outside of the van to where I'm like sitting there in the doorway, washing something? Like what's the, like how do you work around that? So yeah, so I would definitely, oh, you've got weeks uploaded. Oh, okay, cool, perfect. Yeah, so I would definitely focus on thumbnails, and that's anybody that's in here right now. Really thinking about how you can express what it is that you're doing in your videos through your thumbnails is really, really important. Because like on YouTube, right? Like when you're on YouTube, it's a visual experience, right? We're on like you're on there and you're just looking for stuff. Right? Like reading, sure, it happens, but it's more like immediate comprehension that's going on. And that's why thumbnails are so powerful, because if you can tell what's going on and you can make it intriguing in that thumbnail, then they don't even have to read the title, right? Then they can just go right in through the thumbnail and they don't even have to do it. Could you show me your mock-up thumb? Yeah. Yeah. And this is just a really rough version. And again, this is one of those things to where like you could experiment with putting your branding stuff on there. If you were just using imagery, you could also, of course, if you had additional text that you wanted to add, I'll just put text here, because you have like that certain style of text that you use. So like, for example, in your case, you could just kind of do something like this, right? That just gave a little bit of insight into what it is that you are talking about, which is the whole idea, right? I mean, that's the whole thing with this stuff, is basically just getting it to where it's like, how can I explain what it is that I'm talking about in this thumbnail, right? Okay, so now we will get to, we'll go to the next one here that I had open. But yeah, so really quick, just before I move on, Crystal. So like in your case, I would definitely experiment as much as possible with your thumbnails, because like your thumbnails can really make or break how your channel performs, and you're like, people are digging what you're doing. Like people keep coming back and they're watching your stuff. So because of that, I would definitely try to think, like I would just go hard on imagery and try to communicate what it is that you're doing through the imagery that you're using. I would also, just as a side note on you as well, well, you've got the van life in there. Okay, that's good. But one of the things that I was going to mention in your thumbnail also is if you are going to be using, and you say it in your thumbnail, so you're okay there, in your title, so you're okay there. But if you really want to hammer it home, if you are going to use text like this in your thumbnails, if that's what you end up defaulting back to, then right here, I would even say getting ready for bed, van life, down here. And you can even do something similar up here too. You know, like instead of just having the text that we put, you can just put van life or, you know, something along those lines for the sake of letting people know that that's what's going on. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. And I mean it this time. Okay, so UK, here we grow. Here we go. You reap what you sow. Very cool. New videos every Tuesday and Friday. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Typically, I would say don't even like worry about that up there, but it's not really interfering with anything, so I think you're okay. Subscribe for gardening videos. Fantastic. Got you and your thumb. Also fantastic. Okay, so on yours, were we looking at thumbnails as well? Because I think that was pretty far up the path here. Patty says that she's learned so much over this past year about making a thumbnail. Tell a story without adding text most of the times. It's actually so much fun. It opens your mind. Yeah, it really can be. And that's another thing too, and this is where, you know, experimentation comes in so handy, is like on some channels and some types of content, adding text can hurt. To where, you know, the people that are seeing those videos or the way that the text is being put together is just not put together in a way that people are resonating, so it hurts. And then in other cases, not having it on there or having it on there helps. And then in some cases, you know, putting yourself in there like you're doing here in your thumbnail so that people can recognize you. In some cases that hurts. Other cases that helps. In your case, it looks like you're doing fine. So yeah, so if we're going thumbnails on yours as well, yeah, I think you're good there. Grass at home. Interesting. Yeah, I like what you're doing here with your, you know, just using your thumbnail to kind of extend what's going on in the title. I think that's definitely a good move. Really, for the most part, I think your imagery here is fine too. How you have like the secrets unlocked, for me, that would grab my attention to where I'd be like, secrets about what? And then of course I would look down here and I would see, oh, okay, you know, got that. So I think you're definitely on the right path there. Popular videos 3 years ago. Okay, so okay, so you've still got some new ones in here, so you're okay. I was gonna say like this one here. Like I wouldn't put too much highlight on your most popular videos. And for anybody, like if your videos on your channel, like if all of your most popular stuff is from like 2 years ago, then I would actually move that farther down your channel page instead of having it something that you're putting a lot of focus on. But in this case, you've got some more recent stuff, so you're fine. Yeah, so AliX just says here, for me, if I don't show my face or not me at all in the thumbnails, it works better. Let's see here. Yeah, like how you're titling your playlist and everything, like all of this is great. Just a heads up, you're missing a description here on that one. So a couple of things. One, I'm going to assume that you already are. Just make sure, I'm just going to say it real quick. Most of the people have heard me say it enough on live streams that you know already. But make sure that for these playlists where the videos are directly related to each other, that you're marking them as a series also. I'm actually going to click on one of these, see if it shows me your stuff. Okay, it does. Yeah, you're good. Nice. Okay, I want to use this opportunity for everybody here. This is great. Okay. So, you know how I'm always like hammering people on making sure that their playlist titles are something that people would want to click on, something that's like, you know, interesting. This is a good example of this, to where he has like DIY in the garden as the playlist title. That may or may not be intriguing to people that are into this type of content. I'm not sure, because I'm not, you know, I'm not his target demographic. But really important. Like, this is a great example just to show and prove that playlists absolutely can be recommended next to your other content or next to other people's content. So it's a really good idea to make sure that instead of using your playlist titles categorically as just like, my best videos, for example, that you actually turn it into a title that can get connected to your own videos or to other videos on the platform, to where YouTube can show playlists to bring people in, to where you can seize that opportunity to get views from other people as well. And the win with that is when they click into it, then they're just like right there in his trap, right? Right here, video after video after video, right there in his trap. It's beautiful. Love it. Good here. Yeah, so one thing that I would also do, just as a heads up to you, if you might have this on other videos because this one's been out for a while, but you can even go back retroactively into your old content and do this. Here, let me click the one you did a week ago because you might be doing it now. Okay, so one opportunity that you're missing here is pinning comments recommending people to more of your content. So, Christina, the podcast, I'm going to post it either this coming week or the following week. I'm going to post it before a live stream so that during the live stream I can push people over there and get some reviews and all that good stuff. But I have to submit it to iTunes and to Stitcher and the other ones as well, so that I can get it all ready and available everywhere before I start putting the word out about it. But yeah, so like in this situation here, UK Here We Grow, like on your channel, I don't know how many videos you have, but like you're getting decent amounts of views on your content. So because of that, hold on. Excuse me. Okay, so you got 364 videos. So I strongly urge you to go into every single one of your videos and pin a comment linking to more content that is exactly like what they just watched. When you are pinning that comment, basically all you have to do is just write, hey, if you enjoyed this video, watch this one next. You can even give context and say what that video is about, and then drop a link to a video or drop a link to a playlist. Hey, to see more videos about, see more DIY gardening videos, here, right? See more DIY gardening videos, and then a link to a playlist of your DIY gardening videos, and pin it. So in order to pin it on your end, when you click on this little thing right here, if you're not familiar with it yet, when you click on this, you're going to go down here and you're going to see a little option to pin. But do that on every single one of your videos. And basically what you're doing there is you're feeding people back into more of your content. Okay, cool. Yeah, so in addition to tips, I'm on the look for opportunities missed. Okay, so that was crystals. Okay, Uniweb. Okay, so real quick here before we get into Uniweb, let me see if I can... Here, let me do something here really quick. Let's see if I can work this out. Un momento, por favor. And then we'll get into the next one here. So for those of you interested, I am going to see if I can... oh, hold on. Is it not coming through? Okay, I'm actually not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to do this or not, but we're gonna see. Okay.
Okay, can you hear this one? Is this coming through okay? Testing 1, 2. Let me know if this is coming through alright. And if so, I think that I can play. Okay, the bad audio? Oh, the mic's not working. Okay. Okay, yeah, 'cause I'm feeding this one through the computer. Oh, very bad. Okay.
Okay, so that's muted. Yeah, I'm still figuring out how to use it. I've got it figured out to where it's like on distorted Sith Lord. Hey, won't be able to say that too many times in your life. Yeah, I'm still figuring out how to work this thing. So I've got it to where like here and here it's fine, but I've never tried to do it live streaming before. So let me see if I do desktop audio. Yeah, let me see if this will feed it through. And I won't play the whole thing. This is just to give you guys a preview since you're insiders here. Let's see here. And then after that, we will get into Uniweb Productions and some more Q&A. Or just hanging out. Any of the above. Okay.
On today's episode of Comments Over Coffee, we're...
Okay, can you hear that? Did that one come through okay? Okay, that came through okay? Okay, so I'll play this. This one's like 8 minutes long, so I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm just going to give like I'm just going to play it so that you can just get like a general idea of what it is real quick.
On today's episode of
And give me feedback too. If you're like, this is kind of lame, let me know, because then I know that I know that I need to like work on it to make it better. If you think it's cool, then be like, okay, yeah, this is this is cool. I dig it. Or if there's like something you don't like, let me know and why. Any feedback is appreciated.
On today's episode of Comments Over Coffee, we're talking about YouTube channel promotion. Should you promote your videos? Should you not promote your videos? We're also talking about overcoming camera shyness or the awkwardness of being on camera and more. So grab your cup, tumbler, or mug because we're starting right now.
Welcome to Comments Over Coffee, where you will learn how to get better at YouTube and online video over a cup of coffee. Pour a cup for your host, Nick Nimmin.
If this is your first time here, I want to let you know that all of the comments that we talk about during this show are brought to you from the comment sections of my YouTube videos and other
Great
YouTube
feedback,
communities
Christina.
online. So I encourage you to get out there and join in the conversation, ask your questions, leave your comments, because people are reading those comments, people are listening, and people are trying to help others get their head around all of this stuff and how it works. So the very first question that we have is from Therapy Thoughts. Therapy Thoughts says, I may be different from other channels, and I would be interested to know your thoughts. My channel is devoted to talk therapy. I offer it as a service, and I have no interest in monetizing it. Because it is about important human experience and authenticity, it feels a bit contradictory to hype it. Does that make sense? No one wants their therapist to be a carnival barker. Therapy Thoughts, I have an answer for you for that question, or at least my opinion or my thoughts, which is what you were seeking. My thoughts on this are this. If you are making content that is made for the purpose of helping people, in my opinion, man, you need to be out there promoting this stuff as much as you can.
So in a nutshell, that's going to be it. Okay, so the slurping sound, you think it's gross? Do you think I should take it out and just have like pouring a cup of coffee and then maybe the part? Yeah. So if that's gross, then yeah, I'll take it out because I don't want people to think I don't want it gross being the first association. Okay. So no slurping. Just go straight to the pouring and the ah. Okay. Got it. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, settles that. A little hearing the coffee being poured. Okay. Yeah, so basically the idea, it's just all it is I'm answering comments, and I'm looking for comments to where it's stuff that just like inspires me in some way. So, for example, it's just something to where one of the comments I see, if I'm like, people are asking this too much, so I need to make sure that I make something about it, then those are going to get in there. All the normal stuff. But then with the normal stuff, there's also going to be a part, or there's also going to be a comment in there that is something that is just more of a, somebody asked this, but because they asked this, we're going to talk about that, but we're also going to go down kind of a rabbit hole of sorts to explain, different things about YouTube and being an influencer and all of that good stuff. So that's kind of what the premise is. Coffee machine over a pouring sound. Yeah. Music seemed a little overpowering. Okay, this is great feedback. Music was a bit too loud. Okay, good. People who write first in your videos, ask them if they actually learned something or just being spammy moron. Hybrid Steel. Yeah, man, the thing with the people writing first on the videos, like, I think it's funny. Like I've actually went through like a transition on that. Like for the people that come in and they just want to be like the first person on the video, like I get it. I know on some channels they like pin them and things like that, so they're thinking that there's going to be some type of benefit. But on the other side, it's like, a lot of them are kids and things like that. So because of that, like, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't bother me anymore. Yeah, Neil killed it, man. Neil did a great job on the voiceover. Absolutely awesome on the voiceover. And that's Crypto Cruising for those of you that don't know Neil. He's right here in the chat right now. Okay, so Uniweb. Thanks for all the feedback, guys. I appreciate it. Now I got to go through and edit a bunch of episodes to get that slurp out of there. That's funny. Yeah, that's Neil right there saying hi. I'm Neil. Okay, so next up here we've got Uniweb Productions. So on yours, just as a heads up, man, right out of the gate, your channel art. So right here, on a mobile device, this is going to be getting cut off. Let me change the color here so you can see it. On a mobile device, this is going to be getting cut off like right around. Bad choice. Come on, Nick, you know better. Okay, here we go. There we go. Got it. So like it's going to be getting cut off on a mobile device around like there and there. So because of that, I would definitely get rid of, I would redo your channel art completely. And in addition to shrinking it in, I would also basically put your Uniweb Productions on here and then tell people what it is that they're going to get. Because what's important is like when you land on a channel page on YouTube, right? I mean, of course, most of your subscriptions are going to come from the channel, like the actual video, right? But a lot of them are also going to come from the channel page as well as your channel gets bigger. And it's really important to help people make a decision to know that they're in the right place. So, for example, like when they land in your channel page, their eyes are looking all over this thing, right? Just rapidly trying to figure out what's going on. You want to be able to focus their attention here on exactly what's in it for them. Like, what is it that they are getting from your YouTube channel? What is it that they're watching your videos for? What value are you bringing to them, right? Super, super important. Another thing is like having your channel name on there is cool, but having your channel name on there, but having a bigger focus on what it is that you're bringing to them is definitely a win. Okay, so I would do that like ASAP. So there's places. Hey Zaggy, what's up, man? There's places that you can get templates online to where you can do this stuff. Or if you're doing it yourself, you can go into like Canva.com or something like that and do it there. So they have like free templates you can use and stuff. So just as a heads up, in your case here, all of your playlists you can add descriptions to your playlists. So I recommend that you go through and you add descriptions to your playlists. And remember how I was just showing the playlist that showed up as a suggestion next to UK Here We Grow's video. So like in his case, or if you were in his case, like if this showed up, this may be intriguing for people. But if you could, one, put the description in there just for when people see it on your channel page, but two, if you could also make this something to where if people were to see this in a suggested column, they would think, oh, that looks interesting. I want to go check out and see what they're doing there, right? So that you're basically trying to pull people in, and you're using that as like a tool of sorts to grab people's attention instead of just using it as a categorical thing of the different types of content that you're offering on your channel. So basically, in a nutshell, you want to turn this into a short title. Okay. Now, as we scroll down the page, we've also got where you're kind of in a similar situation like Crystal, how you're doing the stuff here on the top, which is okay for the people that know it's your show, right? But down here, you've got like all of this stuff on here. You've got all this text down here. Like there's just stuff all over the place. So this is another one of those situations to where you might want to think, okay, what is it that's going on here in this thumbnail, and what can I focus people on, right? So like, what's the primary thing that I want people to see here? So in this particular case, it might not be Uniweb Interview Show. It might be the specific guest that you have, right? Or it might not necessarily be your name. It might be the guest's name instead, right? And just a heads up, you've got a twisted around there on the text on that one, as long as I'm seeing that correctly. Yeah. So just a heads up there. But you want to make sure that you are, just focusing the viewer towards, towards a specific thing. Now, because you stand out in your thumbnails, right? Like in these, you're clearly recognizable. So because of that, I think just having you on one side, and then either have like the author with the author's name on this side, I would experiment with that and see if you get a better result from that. But this type of thing, unless you have external traffic coming in, these are typically pretty hard to get rolling, because like people really have to be searching for this particular author in order to bring people into this type of content. You can definitely do it, but it's just, you're going to be relying a lot on external traffic to get this thing rolling, and less on internal YouTube traffic. And yeah, Gord does his thumbnails with his interviews. His look good. I'm not sure how they convert for Gord, but they definitely look good. But he has just a basic template that he uses, but it's well laid out, and it's not really cluttered, so to speak, on Gord's. Yeah, another thing also is, like in your case, if you're going to do your Uniweb Interview Show, then all of the content that people have the opportunity to watch here on your channel page should be from your interview show. Like if that's the whole thing and you're branding it that way, then everything that's here on your channel page should be your show. It shouldn't be you reading out loud. It shouldn't be motivation videos. It shouldn't be random stuff. Like all of this should be gone. And basically when people are scrolling down through here, they should see like author interviews. And then I don't know how you're going to break these down into different types of authors, or how you're going to do it, or different type of people that you're interviewing. But I would definitely stack this up with interviews if you're going to be trying to grow your channel off of an interview show. Another thing that I would recommend to you is here in your featured channels. In addition to this channel that you have here, I would also add additional interview show channels that are relatively, like I wouldn't add like a million subscriber channel here, but I would add 50,000 subscriber channels, 100,000 subscriber channels, maybe 10,000 subscriber channels, like in that range. But basically other interview type channels, I would go ahead and start adding them as featured channels here. And that does two things for you. One is that kind of forces, for every single person that is leaving your channel and going and watching one of theirs, what you're doing is you're taking that one user at a time, and you are basically making that connection of the type of viewer that watches your content and their content, right? It's like, by doing that, it's not going to be like a game changer for your YouTube channel or anything, so don't expect that. But what you're doing is you're kind of forcing that user history like one person at a time, right? So in terms of just helping YouTube understand the type of person that's watching your content. Another thing is, just as a heads up, right here you have the Creative Commons attribution that reuse is allowed. So because of that, since reuse is allowed here, you're basically giving people permission to use your content. So if I wanted to come and scrape your videos, then I could. And all I would have to do is at the very end of the video, where nobody would even see it probably, I would just have to give you just a quick blurb that just says that I had permission to use this from Uniweb Productions on YouTube, right? And technically, I wouldn't even have to say on YouTube. I would just have to say Uniweb Productions, since you're the owner of this content. So by having this license here, you're basically giving people the permission to steal your content and use it in any way that they want, as long as they give you credit somewhere. And the funny thing about this is a lot of people, even though this is Creative Commons with attribution, a lot of people in foreign countries and things like that, like they don't even know what attribution means. And they just see Creative Commons as content that you can essentially steal and reuse. So because of that, I would definitely change that. I was hoping, since I'm in all my videos, that they might just get to know me. Yeah, that's cool, and that's what you want. But also, like, if you want your channel to grow, like here's like a concept that it takes a while, and you have to start paying attention to your stats to really sit back and think like, wow, am I approaching this in the right way? So on most channels that are growing rapidly, or that are growing at a decent rate, the amount of non-subscribers that are watching the video is considerably higher than the amount of subscribers that are watching the videos. And that's what actually makes a channel grow. Because if a channel is just serving content to the people that know them, like you were talking about, if they're just serving content to the people that know them, then there's no room for growth there, because you're not pulling in new people, right? But if you are leaning on the branding stuff to where it's like, hey, I'm putting my face there so I'm recognizable and all that stuff, so when the people that do like my content, when they see it on the platform, they can click on it, come back in and watch my stuff, like that's definitely something that you want to use. But on the flip side of that, you don't want to think, okay, I'm building my channel and, you know, having people like get to know me and all that stuff. You are, but in mass, for your channel to really get traction, you have to think, how am I going to get as many people that have never seen my channel before to see my channel, right? And one of the ways that you can do that, of course, on YouTube is, making your thumbnails and your titles pop. But in your case, because you're doing that type of content, I would definitely try to collaborate with other people that do similar types of content. I would try to collaborate with podcasts, anybody that does interview type podcasts, to where if they have a YouTube channel that you're, sending traffic back and forth that way. I would try to utilize any type of online resource to where people are, if there's anything that people are using for interview type content or to find interview type content, I would use it. I don't know if you're doing it or not yet, but since you are doing interviews, I would also, you might already be, but I would also make sure that you are, that you have a podcast. Because then if you have a podcast, then that's another way for people to find you there. And then if they want to see the actual video version to where they can see your reactions and the conversation and all of that, then in that case, then you can send them to your YouTube channel from there. Hey, if you enjoyed this show, remember to, give us a rating inside of iTunes or your platform of choice. And you can also find these videos on YouTube if you want to see what we actually look like at Uniweb Productions, right? Something like that. So like in your case, definitely. Okay, so it's all on your website. So yeah, that's what I mean. Oh, okay, so you're getting people from your podcast to go to your website, and then on your website, then they get to trickle in to your YouTube channel. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm just thinking okay, you got to find a way externally for people to be able to come in. And a good way to do that is here you have Angela Way, actress from Tyler Perry's Love Thy Neighbor and author, joins the Uniweb interview show. Like, one thing that you might want to think about when you're titling these is you might want to think about, okay, this is the person, so of course you're going to put them there in your title. But you also want to think, okay, so I'm going after this person, right? I'm trying to leverage their name for traffic, but how can I make the title something that people might actually be looking for an interview show for? So like in this case, you have like Love Thy Neighbor author joins the Uniweb interview show. that's not really much of like a, like, if I've never seen your stuff before, I would be like, okay, well, what's the Uniweb interview show? Why do I care? Does it even matter? But if the actual topic itself was something to where it's like, okay, well, that's an intriguing topic or an interesting thing that they're talking about, to where you just take one of the things out of the conversation, one of the segments, and you say, oh, we're talking about this, I'm going to make this my title. And then you start making those your titles, then it can make your titles more clickable because it just makes them more interesting in general. So... All right, what are we talking about here? Crypto. Oh, I agree, Neil. Yeah, Neil's saying that some of Vigard's videos look like $1 million productions. I agree. Some of them are awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of things to work on. But the thing is like, yes, there's a lot of things to work on, but it's just part of the process, right? So it can be like, oh my gosh, I have all this stuff to do, and you do, but don't like let it, deter you from, from what it is that you're doing. Just think, okay, like today I'm going to work on this thing, tomorrow I'm going to work on this thing, or this week I'm going to work on this thing, and then next week I'm going to work on this thing. And then, as you progress through it, then you'll be fine. Right. Yeah. You just started in February, so you're just getting started in this. And, there's a long, long road ahead. A lot of stuff to learn. Crypto saying that I think that podcasts are going to blow up this year. Podcasts have already blown up. Like I used to I was listening to podcasts like 12 years ago or so. Like when they had like the first or second like iPod, when it was the first skinny one. That's when I started listening to podcasts. And like I loved them back then, but I watch videos now more than anything. But I'm starting to get back into like audiobooks and podcasts and stuff like that as well, which is why I was thinking like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do one also, just for the sake of, just giving people, something else to listen to while they're doing stuff. So yeah, podcasts are definitely on the rise. Yeah. So Gary Vee last year, or no, in 2017, Neil, at VidSummit, Gary Vee mentioned that audio is like the way of the future, so to speak, because you can multitask. So you can just be in your car and listen to your stuff, or you can be, cleaning and listen to your stuff, or exercising, listen to your stuff, to where you don't have to actually sit down and watch something. Now, some types of content just don't support that. But if the content that you make does support that, it's definitely something to consider. Yeah, so I'm this year, I've got my personal one that's going to be coming out in like a week or two. And then in addition to that, D and I, when he gets back from the States, or when we both get back, because I'm going back to the States in May, when he gets back from the States, or we get back from the States, then we're going to launch one also together. So we can go a little bit more long form, because mine are like 5 to 10 minutes. That one's going to be probably like an hour. Or, knowing how we do, it might be, a lot longer than an hour. So we'll see. So before we wrap this up here, just to make sure that we have a little bit of a time buffer and whatnot. So with anything that anybody's doing, do you have any questions about anything you're doing? Is there any way that I can help you with what it is that you're doing, or anything, like any insight that you need, or questions that you have about your channel or YouTube, or anything that you're struggling with your equipment or anything like that? Oh, that's clever. Modern day tech. I never even thought of that angle. For sure. Yeah, I agree. You think 30 minutes are an ideal time? Okay, that's cool. Taper John. Midnight Madness 4x4. I can definitely look at the channel, but I don't play videos. But let me pull you up here. Okay, so Christina's asking a great question. Since I took a break, does the algorithm punish you? YouTube says no, but I'm going to say otherwise. So here's a funny thing, and I'm getting ready to contradict myself, but this is it. Okay, so you'll notice in your stats typically that if you are uploading on a regular basis and then you stop for like a, past whatever your normal upload schedule is, typically you're going to notice that dip start to happen. But what can happen is it can kind of level out, and then it just kind of finds its nice happy place, so to speak, and then it just kind of stays there for a while, and then it'll slowly trickle out over time. When you come back and you publish again, then in that case, you might see, just a spike anyway. I mean, you will see a spike anyway because you are publishing again, but it might take you a little bit to get that actual momentum rolling again that you had before, because like right now, if you're publishing on a regular basis, you have all those new videos out there that are in those kind of prime positions, because YouTube always treats the new content better than aged content. Well, not always, but initially. So because of that, when you start publishing again, then you'll see that, that lift start to come back. But the thing that hurts you is when you do take that break and you don't have that new content out there, and then it starts to kind of fall out of those, sweet spots, so to speak. And if you have like a really stable backlog of content, then in that case, it can catch you while the numbers are still high on your 48-hour view count or your weekly count, so to speak. But if your back content isn't performing for you yet, or if it's just not performing well for you, then it can cause like a serious hit. Like I've seen to where like somebody's uploading like every couple of days on their channel, they stop uploading because of like a medical problem or whatever, and then like literally it's just like this, just starts tanking on them. And then on the flip side of that, you also have situations like with mine. I went from 2 videos and a live stream per week to just 1 video a week. Actually, yesterday was the first time I've done 2 videos in a week in a month, I think. And with that, my channel is actually performing better than it normally does, which is one of the things that I was actually going to mention in here. So one of the reasons I didn't live stream this past Saturday, because even though I was here, I was thinking about doing it anyway. But one of the reasons that I didn't is, you're still putting out content, so you're okay, Christina. You should be fine, depending on how people respond to your streams. But as long as people are responding to your streams, you should be okay. Nines Catudio says, okay, thanks for the great stream. Had to go back to packing. Hi, Paul. Hi, Paul. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so basically I didn't stream because typically every time I stream, my channel gets a lift, right? I stream, I get a lift, I stream, I get a lift. But I've had a full cycle now, at least a 30-day cycle, not a full 90, but I've had a 30-day cycle of not streaming and uploading less, and I'm actually getting like a significant lift right now. And because of that, I wanted to give it just a little bit more time so that when I hit that live button, like I'm going to be watching in real time, right? I'm going to have like a tablet open, a phone open, looking at my real time stats so I can check like, okay, as soon as I go live, then what's happening in real time to my channel. And then I can look to see if there's a real time impact. And I can also look to see if it doesn't happen in real time, I can look to see if having that live stream in my recent videos is hurting my overall viewership. And I think that it's possible. So don't quote me on this yet because I don't know. I'm just theorizing right now, which is why I wanted to give it an extra week. But like one of the things that I'm thinking is that if I have the live streams out there as part of my new content that I was just telling you about, Christina, then when I'm publishing videos, those live streams are also being suggested to people. Those are coming up in the up next and things like that. And because the timestamps on those and because they're so long, the viewership on those, it's just not that great on the replays. So I'm thinking that it might be kind of like clogging me up a little bit, so to speak, for when people are, for just lack of a better phrase for it, for when people are getting suggested my video content, to where you're getting all of this live stream content also thrown in there, and it's a kind of a disconnect for the users. Because I ran a poll, and out of the, I think it was like 3,000 or 4,000 people that saw the post and actually left their input, only 22% of those people participate in my live streams, and some people actually were like, hey, don't even like do live streams, blah, blah. So I'm thinking that it's possible that as a whole, like immediate might not be hurting me. I might actually see a lift immediately because, the numbers come in from it. But but the impact that it might be having as a whole might be negative. So, but I'm gonna stream this coming Saturday, so we're gonna be able to see what happens there. But like I was saying, like I just crossed a personal record. I just crossed a personal record, and that was without any live streaming and uploading one video per month in terms of my view to subscriber turnout. So yeah, so definitely interesting to think about. But yeah, we'll see. Well, it's not that they clearly do. Zaggy's saying that they kill momentum. It's not that they like completely do, because I've actually seen it, not just my channel, but I've also seen it on other channels as well, to where it's actually like been beneficial for the channel. I've seen other channels to where it completely like just wreaks havoc, so to speak, on the channels also. So because of that, it's kind of like that spot of, you know, things happening on this channel this way, things happening on this channel this way, right? Because there's definitely commonalities between all channels, but then there's also the particular types of people that are interacting with your content. And like, for example, like the people that are watching my stuff, if they were to watch Zaggy's stuff, they, you know, that's like a totally different group of people that are watching Zaggy stuff or Doug stuff or hybrid stuff or taper stuff, right? So how they respond to the streams versus how my audience responds could be, you know, completely different. In my world, we call it couch tour. What is a couch tour? Right, and the practical mechanics saying that live streams aren't as fun on the replay because you can't interact. Normally, I don't watch the replays unless I missed a section. Yeah, and another thing too is I'm thinking like, okay, well, if I find out that it is hurting the channel, then what am I going to do with Nimin Live, right? So in that case, then what we'll probably do is we'll probably end up moving it over to Twitch, or we'll just turn like this channel that you're watching this right now on. We'll turn this into Nimin Live as just like a full channel for the live streams, or we'll make a new channel for Nimin Live if that ends up being the thing. So, but we'll see. You know, it's kind of still up in the air right now, but we'll see. You know how it comes out. Ashton's Toyland says, hi there, new channel here, new member. So besides my banner art, which I'm working on, SEO keeps telling me that I need to put tags on my title. I've been doing that well over my title to be exact. So Ashton's Toyland, since this is your first time here, you're a new member, I'm actually going to take a look at your channel. And you said that your channel art is being worked on, which is cool. So let me go here. And we're going to pull this up. We're going to take a look and see what it is that you are doing. Okay, so you said that you're working on the channel art, so we're going to skip that part there. In addition to that, I'm not sure how much content you have on your channel, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that right now, as a new viewer, if I were to land here on your channel page, the only option that I have to watch more of your content is 6 videos, unless I put out effort and I click on this to start scrolling through more of your content, or unless I click on your videos tab. Okay? See? So you've got like 25 videos, but this right here, if I watch one of your videos, here we'll just go to one of your videos. Let's say that I watch this video here, right? I'm a user of your on YouTube. So let's see here. Okay, we won't worry about that. So so basically I'm here, I'm watching your video, and I'm like, oh wow, this is like good stuff. Let me see what else they have to offer. I click on this, and then while I'm here, from here I'm faced with, okay, well, I have 6 videos available for me. So in order to find more, I have to actually put in effort in order to find it. Now, some people are going to go up here, and they're just going to click on the videos tab. Totally cool. C. Tina loves to read. Hey. So for those people, like, you've already got them. YouTube's got you covered by default there, right? But for the people that like to come to the channel page, and that's how they use YouTube, and they just scroll down and look to see whatever it is that you have to offer there, you want to make sure that you have enough content for them as well, so that when you are having those users on your channel, that you make sure that they can find your content easily as well. Let's see here. Bubble Super Fun. So another thing also is with your thumbnails, instead of using screenshots, which it looks like you're using, instead of using screenshots out of your video, I would definitely take actual pictures so that you get like the competition that you're going up against is fierce in this market. So I would definitely make sure that you're taking actual pictures. If you're not a Photoshop user, I would start using Photoshop, or I would use some type of app. Chris Conkle Vlogs, what's up, dude? Or I would use some type of an app like Snapseed or PixArt or something like that to make your thumbnails pop more. Because like right now they're kind of dull. They're a little bit like they're not very sharp. But I would definitely do that in order to, just make your thumbnails more. I don't know if click worthy is the right word that I'm looking for, but just to make them more clickable. Because like a lot of these they're just kind of like washed out, looking. It almost makes the videos look dated. That makes the videos look old, which I know they're not, but it makes it look that way. So I would definitely start doing that as soon as you possibly can. And just as a heads up, you can also retroactively go back through here, and you can go back through and change, thumbnails anytime that you want, just as a heads up. But also your titles. Like, I'm not sure if people are looking for this. Yeah, so like Bubble Super Fun isn't something that people are looking for, right? So now with this, like with this type of content, you're going to end up getting way more views off of suggested videos once YouTube learns that you're making this type of content, and they can start connecting you to other types of content like this. But in the meantime, you have to have a way to get people into these videos. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that every video that you're putting out right now is something that a parent would be able to search for and find, and then hand their phone off or their computer off or their tablet off to their kid while they go and do other stuff. So with all of your titles, just make sure that you're titling it in a way to where it's intriguing to a kid if they see it, but they're just going to be looking at the thumbnail. But to where, like, if a kid sees it, then it's kind of like, okay, that's great. The thumbnail's for them. But then when a parent sees it, they're like, okay, this is about Hot Wheels. My kid likes Hot Wheels. So I'm gonna click on this one and then see how they like it, so to speak. Yeah, well, it's not tags. It's not tags that you put in your title. So Ashton's Toyland saying SEO say I need to put tags in my title. It's not tags that you put in your title. It's actual keywords. And I mean, we're getting caught in semantics a little bit here, but just for reference, like here, let me go back. I'm going to go into the back end of this account just so I can show you. Like basically, like with tags, right? So when you are uploading videos, you have your actual tag section here, right? That's a tag. That's also where you would put keywords as well. That basically describe what your video is about. But by tags, what they actually mean is that you need to put the actual keywords or the keyword phrase that you're going for in your title. That's what that means. So what that's going to do is that's going to make it so when people are coming to your videos, or when they're actually coming to YouTube and they're looking for stuff like Hot Wheels, because let's say that your kid's interested in Hot Wheels, then they start going through this. Then basically what those tags in your title is going to do is it's going to help you come up. This one's going to be just crazy competitive, I'm assuming. So just going for Hot Wheels probably isn't going to be the best thing to do. But what's going to happen, though, is it's going to help YouTube know better what your content is about. Where right now, it's not going to really tell YouTube what it's about. Your Hot Wheel video will, for sure. But, like your Bubble one, for example, like that one doesn't really give much context into the actual video itself. And you want to also make sure that you are making videos that people are looking for. So if it's a specific brand of bubbles that you're using, when you're writing out your title, just write out that specific brand just to see if people are searching specifically for like that brand, right? So Midnight Madness 4x4 and see Tina, I'm actually going to pop yours open here as well. But first I'm going to do Midnight Madness 4x4. And I think he wanted me to watch videos because it looks like the thumbs are the same. So I think he wanted me to watch some videos, but I think the thumbs are looking good. Like you've got, like I think you're kind of in a similar situation where I would definitely try to make them like a little bit more vibrant and, you know, saturated and, you know, a little bit of, you know, contrast to them and stuff like that. But I think like as a whole, you know, I think these imagery wise is definitely, you know, explaining what's going on in the thumbnail or inside of the video. Yeah, I'm sure you've done this already, but another thing that I would do is I would definitely, like, I'm not sure what it is that you are, oh, okay, right now you're saying the SEO. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I'm not sure exactly what it is that you are targeting. I don't know if you're targeting that or if you're targeting this. I'm not sure. But if you're targeting either one, that's a win. But like one thing to keep in mind is the, yeah, there'll be a replay to this Ashton's Toyland, and Filmora is fine. If you're watching, if you're using Filmora, you'll definitely want to check out Daniel Battel's channel. He is doing, here, give me 1 second. Let me take this off, and I'll actually show you his channel real quick. Yeah, for you Filmora, because there's just a few Filmora people here, so I just want to just bring this guy to your attention because he's putting out Filmora videos. Of course, there's a lot of channels that do, but this guy specifically. Yeah, so here, like he's got like how to make GIFs, cool intros, mass transitions, how to fix lag, how to make subscribe buttons, end screens, all that good stuff. It's all in Filmora. So, but his channel name right here is Daniel Battel, and he speaks English, so don't let the name, you know, fool you. Word count recommendation? No, I don't, Christina. To my understanding, YouTube just reads the very top, the top paragraph or the first like handful of sentences in the description anyway. But where the longer descriptions do come into play is they're kind of fodder, so to speak, for Google. So like if you have a longer description, then Google's actually crawling the entire thing for context, where YouTube, to my understanding, is just looking at that top area. So if you are filling out the whole thing and you're basically just maxing it out, then in that case, what you're doing is you're kind of making a blog post of sorts within your YouTube video, which can also, you know, help Google show your content more as well, especially in your case because you're targeting local stuff. So I would definitely write out longer descriptions. I wouldn't necessarily fill out the box, but I would definitely write longer descriptions in your case since you are targeting more local stuff. But in terms of your SEO here, so Juan Smith Music says, is it worth waiting until you have more subs before you list the related channels by your channel? No, I would go ahead and do that now. And the reason for that, you know what? I'm actually not a paid user on this account. Oh, okay, it's still coming up. Hey, new subscriber. So, let's see here. What was I just referencing here? Oh, yeah. So go ahead and put those there now. YouTube is by default. It's gonna put some related channels there anyway. It's gonna be like hey, people watch this, so you might be interested in watching this type of thing. And that's kind of where that comes into play more. Is like, for example, if I go to his, let's see if we see it here. Because sometimes they show them, sometimes they don't. We'll see. Yeah, so you see down here where it's got related channels. So like up here, featured channels, these are ones that he has personally chosen, right? And then down here, these are channels that YouTube says are similar in topic, right? And they've got Sand Troopers. I'm not sure if this is also like a Mutter thing or if this is Star Wars. Hold on. Maybe the Sand got... okay, so also trucks. So basically YouTube is saying... here that it's saying that, hey, people that watch these videos on his channel are also likely to watch these channels as well. So they're going to do it for you anyway. So you might as well go ahead and put your featured ones there so that you can start trying to make some of those connections yourself as well. But yeah, in terms of your video SEO, like here, if you're targeting, for example, if you're targeting Virginia Motorsports, and this is just something that I wanted to bring to your attention. Here, how you have in your tags, Mud Trucks and Tufts, Virginia Motorsports Park, Mud Bog 2019, that's not necessary as a tag. What you want to think about with your tags is you want to think about this area right here. Okay, well, let's break it down. Okay, so when it comes to tags and doing SEO on your videos, hey, no problem. This is number one, right? This carries the most weight. This is the heaviest thing on your page. Technically, depending on what it is that you are making videos about, technically, you can have just a title, no description, no tags, and still rank in great spots on YouTube, technically, okay? If people are like really responding to your content. But this is number one, this is number two, this is number three, okay? And basically how this works is you're doing two things here. You're giving YouTube context into what your video is about, and then you're structuring all of these elements to support each other and to basically, again, give context into what it is that your video is about by using these to support each other. So let's say that you're going for Virginia Motorsports Park Mud Bog 2019. So in that case, what you would do is your first tag here would be Virginia Motorsports Park Mud Bog 2019. Second tag would be Virginia Motorsports Park, Virginia Mud Trucks. You would also do variations that people might be searching for, and this is where you have to research your stuff as well, right? So you say, okay, well, so people are looking for Virginia Motorsports Park Mud Bog 2019. Are they also looking for Virginia Park or Virginia Mud Bog 2019, right? And let's see if you have any of that here, and you don't. So, like, for example, if they are, and they're actually typing that up here, then you would also use that or any other variations that you can think of that people might be trying to use in order to find the content that you're making, right? Because if they're wanting to watch videos on Virginia Motorsports Park Mud Bog 2019, then you have to think of how many different ways are people looking for that, so I can make sure when they're looking for it that my video is presented to them, okay? So this is number one, and if you are going for Virginia Motorsports Park Mud Bog 2019, that should also be moved here, and the Mud Trucks and Tough Trucks Tough Trucks should be moved back here. So basically, you want to put the thing that is the most important that you're trying to rank for, you want to put that towards the front, and then you want to put the extra stuff here towards the end. Later, Joseph. Have a awesome week. So just to kind of bring that one back home again, you want to... Oh, no, you're okay, Ashton's Toyland. So basically, like if you are ranking for this, then you're trying to rank for that, you want to put it towards the front. Okay, the most important thing, the thing that you want people the thing you're trying to rank for, put it as close to the front as you can. So how you would structure this one is you'd break this into two. You would say Virginia Motorsports Park Mud Bog 2019, and then you would do like a parentheses, space, Mud Trucks and Tough Trucks, parentheses. Right? Or you could do a bar, or a hyphen, whatever you want. But basically what you're just trying to do is you're just trying to move these around so that actually comes up first. And another thing with that, you're doing accomplishing a few different missions here. One is you're making good candy for the search algorithm. You're also, when people are looking for this is the first thing they're going to see. Right, so they don't have to read through this, or as their brain is comprehending what the video might be about, as they're scanning titles, or they're looking at thumbnails or whatever, and they're just kind of trying to get a reference on what videos are what. Then you want them to see this first, right? So you make that immediate connection. Now, how you move this down into here, fantastic, and that's why I was saying that you also want to make sure that you add that over here. But this area here isn't necessarily about just putting in a bunch of random stuff. It's about thinking really hard about what it is that you're actually trying to get attention for and what this video is about, and then putting that information over here in your tags. So 4x4, that's a good categorical one, right? Mud trucks, that's also good. Mud bog, that's good because that's directly associated. Tough truck, also good, but now you're starting to get like, you're spending more tags on categorical stuff than you are trying to actually rank it towards the Virginia Motorsports thing here. Now that is unless you're trying to just go for this and you're not really going for the Virginia one. So if you're going for the Virginia one, then this other stuff would make sense. But if you are going for Virginia, which is probably what you should be going for in this one, then in that case, all of this should be leaning you hard towards, or supporting, I should say. We'll just do it that way. All of this should be supporting what the video is about, which would be the Virginia Motorsports Park Mud Bog. So hopefully that was helpful. Okay, Hybrid says, for me and Tags and I created a tag document where I have a preset tag page for my videos. After 4 days, these tags get ranked or not. Then I change my tags up as gaming is so fast. Okay, so here's a couple things to think of is when you are changing up your metadata, when you're changing up your tags, like basically, hey, no sweat, man. So basically hey, what's up, Date? What's up, man? So when you are changing up your tags, what you're doing there is a lot of people will look at tags and they will think of tags as this tag isn't ranking for a specific term that I'm trying to rank for, therefore I'm going to remove it. But your tags, just like all the other metadata in your video and people watching similar content and all the other variables, they also help connect your content to other content. So again, it's about context of what the video is about, not necessarily is this particular thing ranking for this search term. It's more of, does this tag help describe what this video is about? And is this tag a critical thing or an important thing to help describe what this particular video is about, right? So if it's not ranking, that doesn't mean remove it. It means that it's still supporting what this video is about, right? It's still being used to give context. Thank you, Struggling to Succeed. It's still being used to give YouTube context to what that video is about. Hybrid Steel says they use the relevant search through TubeBuddy. They have been awesome to replace some of the tags that aren't summing the video up properly. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you have tags that don't make sense for the video, in that case, if the video is not performing, then of course yanking those just to laser focus in what the video is actually about. In that case, it's a good move. But again, just keep in mind that all of this stuff also helps connect you to other content as well, because you're just telling YouTube what your video is about. The Practical Mechanic, that used to be something, but now that's been gone for a while. Practical Mechanic says, does it help to add metadata to the actual video file before upload and thumbnail and title and metadata? So it used to help, but now it doesn't make a difference either way. So like you're manually adding that stuff in there anyway. Like if you go into the code of YouTube, you can see how YouTube's actually rendering everything. So like people used to name their video file a certain way. They would add the metadata like literally to the video file, which you can do just using like a Windows computer. It's pretty easy if you don't know how to do it. But they would add it to the actual video file itself. And then they would also name the thumbnail the same the thing that they're trying to rank for. And back in the day, that was actually something that people were like, oh, hey, you should be doing this, right? Because it was something that worked then. But it's irrelevant now. Like when you go and you look at the code, then you can see that everything is being changed to like those numbers. As soon as it gets encoded by YouTube, all of those names and all that stuff, all that metadata, it's all getting re-encoded into YouTube's stuff. So they can so they can show your videos on TVs and phones and all the different tablets and all that stuff. So all of that stuff is getting stripped out of it anyway. So it doesn't matter. Pauline Newman says, how important is having the closed captioning on your videos on a scale of 1 to 10, Nick? Me personally, 10. And the reason I'm a big believer in putting captions in your videos is because of accessibility. So it's not necessarily that, hey, it's going to help you like rank your videos higher, which it can, because you're basically by adding captions yourself or having a service add captions, what you're doing is you're making sure that your captions that you are adding are accurate, which is, of course, what you want it to be accurate. You're making sure there's no cuss words in there that got somehow auto-generated because the machine that's translating it didn't get it correct. So going in and double checking your captions or having a service do it is a good idea. And for me, it's accessibility. So like I don't want to limit any viewers with hearing impairments to where they can't watch my content. But in addition to that, I also want to make it easy for people, right? Like my whole thing, the flag that I carry with all of this stuff is, and I talk about this in my live streams a lot, and it's something I always reference when I'm training, if I'm doing a presentation, like whatever it is that I'm doing, is you want to create as many advantages for yourself as possible and remove as many disadvantages as possible. So one of the advantages is the closed captioning, because what you're doing is, in addition to the people that might have hearing problems, you're also making it to where, let's say I'm at Starbucks, right? I forget my headphones. So I'm here and I've got my phone, right? And I'm like, okay, let's see here. I'm going to watch this video on whatever it happens to be. I'm going to go watch Pauline Newman's video. But I've got people sitting around me and I don't want to be a jerk and, interrupt everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the captions on. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch your video and I'm just going to watch it with captions on, right? And by doing that, if you don't have captions, then you're going to limit my ability to be able to consume your content in the way that's most convenient for me at the particular time that I'm trying to consume it. So for me, I'm really big on captions because of accessibility, and it just makes it easy for people to consume your content in whatever way that they choose. Yeah, I use Rev for all my stuff. The only thing that I don't caption is the live streams, because YouTube auto does those. And those, my thing with the live streams is that they are, I use those more of just like a community thing than I do actual, like the video content. Like there's actually stuff in there, but in the live streams, there's great information in the live streams too, as if you participate in any of our Nimin lives. But there's also a lot of banter and things like that. And plus, like a 6-hour long live stream, that would be, I need to do the math on that actually. But yeah, let's see here. They're $1 a minute. So we're going to do it right now. So let's do $1 a minute. And I'm sure you guys are probably faster at math than me, but I'm getting a calculator out. So we've got 60 minutes in an hour times 6. So we're talking about $360 a live stream to caption them. So yeah, that'd add up real quick. But yeah, so hopefully that answered your question on the captions. Yeah, people say that also with adding the keywords in the first 15 seconds of the videos that help. I haven't found out that it helps in one way or the other doing that anymore. Here's what it all comes down to. Like it's really easy for all of us, especially me, because the way my brain works, it's really easy for me to get caught up in the nuances of all of this stuff in terms of okay, you got to make sure that you're using the keywords in the beginning. You got to make sure that you're doing this. You got to make sure that you're doing this. You got to make sure that, this is in your description and this, so that you can take all of these advantages of all of the traffic that you're getting. But at the end of the day, the thing that works the most is just making sure that you're making good content that people will watch for a decent amount of time, and making sure that your thumbnails and your titles are made in a way that actually bring people into your content. If you can do that, and if you can keep people watching your videos, then it might take you a little bit to actually get the ball rolling. I actually just put out a video about this, about, like when you're first starting, why it's more difficult. But it might take a little bit to get the ball rolling. However, once the ball gets rolling, you're going to be unstoppable, because as long as you're putting out good content that people are resonating with, and you're making thumbnails and titles that people are clicking on at a high rate, then it's move over, because you're coming through, right? Because if you just simplify everything and you break all of it down, it comes down to a response, right? Are you getting a response from the people that YouTube are showing your thumbnails and titles to, and that response is translated to the form of a click, right? Are you getting a response from people that YouTube is showing your title and thumbnail to? Yes. Okay. Win. From there, move it on to the response of the video content. Are they watching for a decent amount of time on your video to where you're getting a decent amount of watch time per viewer on every video that you upload? If the answer is yes, then you're going to win long term. If you are getting engagement in your videos, then that's another form of response. If you're getting that engagement, then long term, you're going to win. If you can get your title and thumbnail and then your retention down, there's things that you can do to increase engagement in your videos. But even if you don't try to increase the engagement in your videos, if you focus on your thumbnails and your titles and you focus on keeping people watching, then eventually that stuff's just going to happen naturally anyway. And you're going to be a force to be reckoned with, because you're giving YouTube exactly what it needs, which is content that people click on and content that people watch for a certain period of time, so that the ad tolerance that they have, like, let me explain this really quick. So basically on YouTube, there's a time limit to where if you watch a video right now, right, then there's a really good chance that if you watch a video in 1 minute and then you go to another video a minute later and then another video a minute later, there's a really good chance that you're not going to see an ad like back to back on videos, right? Because there's like a break that they give you, because they don't want you being interrupted with ads on every single video, because that hurts the user experience. So therefore they give them to you in intervals, right? So what your job is as a content creator is take somebody who is randomly looking around YouTube, right? We're just looking around YouTube looking for stuff to watch. Grab their attention, pull them into your content, keep them in your content long enough so that either A, they got an ad when they watched your video, or B, by the time they're finished with your video, that ad tolerance is gone or it's greatly reduced, so that the next video that they watch, they're going to get an ad on, right? Like if you break everything down, like that's the stuff that it comes down to, is getting that response, pulling them in, and then keeping them on your video long enough and keeping them engaged enough in order to be able to serve more ads to them, right? So that's what it comes down to. Or get premium, yeah. Or get premium if you want to avoid that. All right, so so if you're good at getting engagement, then you're definitely off to the races. You just have to get more people in there, right? You just have to get more people, clicking on your titles and thumbnails. You have to get more people, watching your videos for a longer period of time. And by a longer period of time, I mean some videos. You'll see some videos on YouTube just crush, and they're like 2-minute videos, 2.5-minute videos. Some of my best videos on my channel, I think, are under 5 minutes. So it's like your videos just have to be better than the other videos that are similar to the ones that are going to be suggested next to yours. That's it, right? If you take all of the complicated stuff and you simplify it down, response. How do I get a high response all the way across the chain of actions that people can take when they're interacting with my stuff? That's it. I know it sounds simple, but it is if you look at it that way, and then you just start to attack each area and say, what can I do? What can I do? This one isn't getting a response. My click-through rate is low. What can I do? What can I do to improve it? What can I do to make my titles better? Do I need to watch a bunch of videos on copywriting? Do I need to read a bunch of blogs on copywriting? Do I need to study blog and newspaper and magazine headlines? If they're not clicking on your thumbnails, why? Right? Am I showing the right imagery? Am I making it easy to understand what's happening in the video? Am I telling the story through the imagery? Am I putting too much text on there? Do I need to put text in order to give context into the video? Am I leading the viewer's eye when they're scanning around my thumbnail, trying to make that decision on if they're going to watch it or not? Am I just putting random stuff in my thumbnail, or am I leading their eye towards what it is that I want them to focus on, so I can help push them into that decision to click on my thumbnail, right? Same exact thing with once they get into your video content. Use your analytics to tell you, how are people responding to it? How long are people watching? Where are they leaving? Are people digging your intro? Do they not like your intro? Like how are people responding to every single content decision that you're making, from making your thumbnail to your title all the way through watching your content? How are people responding through that whole entire chain? Once you can get all of that stuff taken care of, then you're rocking. Okay. So now I'm going to pull up this one here for Cetina. Loves to read. Very cool. All right, here we go. Okay, so on yours, Cetina loves to read, new book videos every week. So right out of the gate, fantastic on letting me know exactly what it is that I'm going to be getting from your channel. So that's a win, okay? It's also a win that you have you here in the profile picture as well. One thing personally, I'm not a huge fan of the particular colors up here. I think it's okay, but it's just kind of like whoa, when this first loads, but it's okay. It basically tells like what's going on. But like here you see how like this stands out over on this side, but then as it starts to transition over to here, it just gets kind of lost with the similar color behind it. That might be part of it. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to actually like mess with that a little bit to know exactly, you know, the right fix for it. But one thing you might want to consider is either changing around this graphic in the background or shifting it around. Or maybe, I'm not sure if you're making these in Photoshop or what you're making them in. But another thing you could do is you could actually cut this in half right here, and then you could mirror this on this side, because that's kind of what's going on anyway. They just have this additional color thing in the middle, but basically just mirror it, so then as it starts coming out the other side, you go back into this color as well. But that's just kind of like being a picky thing, but I just wanted to give you that feedback since this is my first time looking at this. Yeah, so you can just mirror this if you're using that in Photoshop. So as I scroll down, I'm glad that you're not polluting this with a bunch of social media information. That's fantastic. You're keeping them focused on what you want them to do, which is subscribe. That's a win. Let's click that and make sure it works. Okay, I'm already subscribed, so we're good. Okay. Popular uploads. Okay, so one thing that I would do here on your channel is I would swap these two. I would swap these right here. And the reason that I would swap these is because okay, I got to bail. Thanks, Nick. I'll catch you again another time. Hey, Hybrid Steel, man, you have an awesome rest of your day. And have an awesome week also. Thanks for hanging out, man. But yeah, I would switch these two around, and the reason for that, I'll tell you why, is if you open up your phone right now and you go to your YouTube channel and you start scrolling through your content, you're going to land here, and then you're going to start scrolling down. What's going to happen is, you know what, I might be able to show you this here. Hold on, let me turn this on real quick, because I know that they have their developer mode that I think I can go into here. Okay, let's put it in like a phone mode. Come on, give me a phone mode here. Okay, it's not taking me into like a real phone mode. Okay, so never mind. Yeah, I was seeing if they were going to let me go into a phone mode so I could just show you, but they're not. So we'll skip that. But basically, like if you look on your phone, the reason I'm telling you to do that is if you look on your phone, like basically what's going to happen is you're going to have to take people through all of this content before they can see that you have anything recent. And one of the things when it comes to generating subscribers is that you want to show value to them in terms of like, yeah, you know, you have your past value in terms of you have this backlog of content where you are, I'll refresh this real quick. You have this backlog of content where you are, you know, doing all of these book readings or whatever it is that you're doing here. Let's see your BookTube tips to way to reading stuff. Okay, where you're giving all these book tips and all these reading tips. So that's a reason to subscribe, but also the value that you're going to be bringing in terms of the consistency. Hey, you know, they've been making this type of content, but in terms of what you're going to be bringing, when you show people right out of the gate that you're also uploading, you know, recently, then that's another trigger to where it's like, okay, this person's also uploading recently, so let me go and watch some of their newer content if they come in from one of these older videos. So I can watch some of their newer content, make sure I'm still vibing with what it is that they're doing, and then I'll subscribe once I get to that page, or once I get to the watch page of that video. Another thing that can do is if people are coming in, like let's say that you're getting a lot of traffic here, and people, you know, are watching your videos or coming to your channel page to see what else that you have, and while they are on your channel page, if you have this one up at the top, then what's going to happen, kind of like how you have it here, what's going to happen is when they come in and they land on it, it's going to be feeding that traffic into your newer videos first. So if you catch them here, then you can, you know, kind of pump up these newer videos with more views and stuff as they're coming out. And like the rate that people watch your videos is definitely important. So you want to make sure that you're feeding as many people as possible into the new content that you're putting out. Missing description here, just as a heads up. So another thing too, like in your case, I'm not sure how long you've been watching my videos for, but if you are, if you're not already, make sure that you are marking these as series playlists where it applies. So just let me know if you're already marking these as series playlists or not. Oh, another thing too, just as a heads up, like another really good thing about making your channel work for you in your favor is just really putting a lot of thought into the people that are watching your videos. In your case, only one is a series. Okay. Yeah. So basically anywhere it applies, unboxing videos, I would make that a series. Books I want to read, make that a series. Indie books series, book discussions series. I would definitely do that. But one thing you want to think about is like the people that are watching your videos are people that like to read, right? So by adding captions to these, another thing that you're doing is you're also helping that viewer, even though they're watching a video, they're watching your videos because they read, they're readers, right? So because of that, I would definitely add captions to yours just because you're giving readers the opportunity to read your content while you're actually playing your videos also. So in addition to that accessibility thing, like people that like to read might also like to read your captions as well. So personally, I really recommend that you do that. Yeah, you're missing some descriptions down here, but that's just kind of housekeeping stuff. I think you know that already. So other things as well, like on your thumbs, I'm not sure if you are. Hold on real quick. Vegard has a question. In series playlist, do you want the newest video in front at the playlist and only in each series playlist, right? So when it comes to a series playlist, like you can manually order them too. So it depends on what you're trying to do. So like Vegard, in your particular case, you are selling LUT packs, right? In addition to the content that you're making, you're also selling LUT packs. So what I would do, or what I would recommend that you do, is in your case, you would have your upload playlist here, and then the next playlist that would be a series would be stuff that you're proving to convert for you for your LUT packs. And every single video in that very first playlist would be videos where you mention your LUT packs to where that's the stuff sending the traffic to those packs that you make. And then I would put different trackers on each one of the videos that's going to that site so that you can start defining exactly which ones are converting for you at the highest rate. And then I would manually order them by whichever ones are converting at the highest rate. So if this one's converting the highest, I would start there, and then that one, and that one, and that one, and so on. So that's kind of like a higher, a higher level thing, but like that's definitely a way that you can use these so that you can, help them work to your benefit, so to speak. So like the same exact thing here, like in these videos that you put here in your new and returning viewers videos, like if you found, like in her case, if she's driving Amazon sales with these, then like, let's say that she found out like, wow, this video is driving like a ton of Amazon sales, like per viewer. So because of that, putting that video here would make sense if she's trying to use this as a way to make money, right? Or if it was something to where she's like, hey, I'm trying to grow my email list. This particular video converts my email subscribers at a higher rate. Then in that case, I want to put that video here, right? So like a lot of those decisions come down to what it is you're trying to accomplish. But yes, the series, the order that you put them in can matter, and it is important. Other things as well is you can also see inside of your analytics, you can see the exit rate from playlists. Like you can see like what videos they exit on. So for example, like let's say that you have a 10 video playlist in your analytics, then in that case you can see, okay, so people watch this one, they watch this one, but for whatever reason they leave on this one. So I'm actually going to reorder this one, and I'm going to move it farther back, and I'm going to put another one in that spot so I can see that if I can start leading people through the playlist more efficiently. So yeah, those are both more like advanced things for sure, but those are without question things that you can do to kind of fine tune how you're leading people through your content. But yeah, so back to you, Tina. So basically, as a whole, I think all of this is okay. But one thing that I would make sure that you're always considering is since you are doing book related content, I would try to find a way to have a book clearly visible in all of your thumbnails. It doesn't matter if you're talking about a book or not. Like here, shopping for books, okay, like at Barnes & Noble. So here, like imagery of you actually shopping for books is definitely a win, right? But using book contents or book imagery so that when people that are interested in books are looking around for the content, like keep in mind, like if you are, let's see, okay, they don't have any relateds on you yet. So what I was going to say is like if YouTube is associating you with any other, okay, let's just do this. Just trying to find a way to explain this here. Okay, so if you are getting shown next to images like this, right, where she's like holding a big stack of books, here in front of bookshelves, here in front of bookshelves, here, big stack of books, here, not so much, big stack of books, as we scroll down in front of a bookshelf, books, right? So you can see here, in terms of, books are in most of these images, not all of them, but in most of these images. So the reason for that is because they understand that when they are putting out these thumbnails, that they are trying to attract people that are into those books. So if you're into books, you see a book, you make that association. I'm into books. Let me give this a little bit more consideration, to basically, you're using the books as a tool to grab their attention and let you know that, or let them know that the video is about something that they might be interested in. And then that's where they read the text on your thumbnail. That's where they read your title, in order to make the decision on if they're going to come in and watch your stuff or not. So hopefully that was helpful. Another thing too, just while I've got it open here, another thing as well is like in your description right here, you can see down here, you just have popular videos. So another thing that can be very beneficial for you is just to think about the person that's watching your stuff. So for example, if they're watching a book haul video, Books to Help Me as a YouTuber, then in that case, if they're watching book hauls, well, there's a really good chance they're into book hauls, right? So because of that, you want to think, okay, if they're watching a video about a specific type of video that I'm making, then I need to be recommending those types of videos here, right? Instead of popular videos, it's watch more of my book haul videos, right? My most popular book haul video, my favorite book haul video, and then, all of my book haul videos that would lead them into a playlist. Okay. So I'll leave you with that information now, because I know I kind of gave you like a lot of info there, but that's something that is definitely, something to work on. And same thing in your situation also. If they're watching a book haul video, this is also where you want to make sure that you have a book hauls playlist that you can also lead them into here through your pinned comment as well. So hopefully that was, hopefully found value in that in some way. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see here what this update says. Try to get more eyes on your channel by doing a parallel topic like best ebook readers. Get a lot of people looking for tech stuff and more eyes on you. Absolutely. Especially if there's resources that aren't well known but have a cult following. Yeah, good. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you for hanging out. And again, if you are not in the Facebook group, make sure that you get into the Facebook group, because I'm going to be doing some just random live streams into there. So because of that, make sure that if you're not in the Facebook group, that you go ahead and that you get into the Facebook group as soon as possible, so that when I jump in there and do those, that you can hop in for some of that stuff as well. So thanks for your support. Thanks for being a channel member. I hope you got some value out of the live stream today. And everybody have an awesome rest of your week. And I'll talk to you soon.